Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Foothill Paint Fabrication. Well, we're back on the 1950 Chevy truck here, the 5-window. We're going to be shooting some paint today, but we won't be painting the cab and the doors with color and clear. We will be shooting a little bit of blue, but not a lot. So let's just jump right in here. I'm going to show you how to do yourself a favor on the day you're spraying the whole thing to make your life that much easier, take some of the stress out of your life, and make sure your job is that much nicer when you're done. So let's jump right in here and take a look and see what I'm up to. Okay, let's take a look what we're going to be doing today. So if you guys own one of these trucks, you know this vent opens and you can see down inside there. Now, you do not want to be trying to spray all that blue inside there while you're painting the outside. Now, if you imagine you're trying to get the gun up in there and squirt blue in there, make it all look nice, and you're piling up paint around the exterior, and then when you're spraying the clear, you're going to put a sag in there, right? So that's not something you want to do, not to mention the amount of debris that could come blowing out of there when you're painting. What I want to do is I want to paint this blue in advance, and then when I go to shoot the truck, I want to just seal this off, and so I'm only painting the exterior piece right here. I only have to worry about that, nothing else on the day we're spraying. Over here, same idea. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try to get down inside all these grooves. If you look from the windshield out, this lip right here is very hard to paint. Now, I don't want to be leaning over the firewall and worrying about, bumping into it or anything. So we're going to pre-spray this. We're going to pre-spray inside here. And we are also going to pre-spray underneath. So these rockers are very hard to get to when you're spraying that day. So if you look up underneath here, I've already masked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spray this lip right here, so I don't have to worry about it. Now, the day we're spraying, I'll go ahead and hit all this again, but I don't have to concentrate so much on trying to get paint up all inside there. All I have to do is concentrate about getting over the top of it and get a fresh coat of blue. And that's the whole idea behind this. So you can actually save yourself a lot of headache, a lot of stress, and possibly missing a spot. And then, you got the clear on there and you're putting the truck back together or the car or whatever, and you find a spot where you didn't get enough color. And that drives me crazy. It's happened to me multiple times. That's why I take these extra steps to kind of do myself a favor so I don't have to stress about laying on my back underneath the truck and spraying up onto the cab, a lot. So today we're going to take my smallest gun, and we're going to spray up inside here. So let's go over and take a look at what I did to prep. Okay, the hardest part of this whole deal was masking these louvers. So as you can see, the louvers are sticking out, and you guys know I've already painted the interior black, so it looks beautiful. We don't want to get any blue in there. So what I had to do is I had to mask these the louvers where it comes up like that. I had to lay tape on those right up to the edge on the whole thing, on all three of them. Sealed that up really nice, the part that lays flat, and then I was able to tape to the face of the black and then seal that all together so no blue can get in there. And of course I did where the slot where the lever goes, and then there was another couple of holes up in here where this hinge pocket is. They kind of lead into underneath the dash, so I wanted to make sure no paint vapor got up inside there. So up here on the other vent, I reused the paper I used when I was priming. I just cut with scissors. I cut the old tape off and put fresh tape on it and stuck it up underneath there. And then the drain hole that drains the water out of here, I capped that up underneath. Make sure no vapor got up underneath. And then we've got some plastic here with tape. And I'm not trying to tape right up to here because I'm going to be using my smallest gun, and it's just going to be spraying a little tiny pattern. And a little bit of paint may get up here, but we'll just scuff that. But we're not going to be trying to blast away at this and get it everywhere. We're going to be very careful and just try to spray these lips and down inside here. And a little bit of blue will get past here, but we'll scuff that once it's dry and it'll be fine. And then as far as the rocker panels go, I needed to mask those anyways to spray the whole truck. So those are masked, and we can just lay on the creeper and spray up and get inside there. And then I just draped plastic over here just to protect everything. And then the dash has been sealed up twice. So it's got plastic on it from the outside and plastic over here. And then I just kind of taped it to keep it from blowing around. So we're about ready to go. So let's get some paint in the gun and start spraying. Okay, the gun we're going to be using today is my smallest gun. I got this over 20 years ago, maybe longer. I don't even know where I got it. Maybe Harbor Freight, I'm not sure. But the good thing about this gun is it sprays a very small pattern. It'd be nice if it sprayed a little bit bigger pattern, but if you guys saw me spraying up underneath the dash in another video, you know that this gun, I can rotate the cup straight up like that. It'll rotate any direction. So now you can literally spray straight up. And so you don't spill a drop. So this gun comes in really handy. You can angle it, all kinds of stuff. If I'm using my other gun and I'm trying to lean back and spray, up under the rockers, it's trying to run back out of the vent hole or maybe even spill out of the cup. So this thing comes in really handy when you got to spray those awkward positions. Doesn't spray a very big pattern, but should be good enough to get those rockers, that little, 1.5 inches of that rocker. So when it comes time to spray, the day we spray color and clear on this thing, I don't have to worry so much that I got really good coverage in there because we already got it sprayed with this little guy. So let's get some paint in this thing and get to spraying. Okay, before we start spraying, I'm going to turn both fans on to make sure I've got air blowing out that way and air blowing in that way on the vents. I don't want any vapor floating around and possibly landing on the truck or worse, getting on the dash or something. So, but before I start spraying, I want to let you guys know, I scuffed this all. This has all been sanded. You guys saw me sand it. But I went through and I re-cleaned everything, and then I made sure I tacked off this whole area and blew it off really well, because if a little bit of that blue floats over here and lands, I want to make sure it sticks to a very prepared surface and not just think I'm spraying this little area and not to worry about anything else. So everything else has been cleaned off. Of course, you don't want dirt or dust blown into the paint, but I want to make sure that, anytime I'm spraying, that the area around it is prepped and ready to go as well. So I'm going to get the fans on and we're going to start spraying. Okay, to start, I've got about 1.5 inch pattern set for the gun. We're going to just try to hold the gun so the tip of the fluid tip is inside, so I'm not hitting the outside. So I can paint this easily when we paint the exterior part of the skin. So I'm not really worried about getting paint on there, but we will get some paint around this lip a little bit, but I'd like to seal this off when we paint the exterior and not have any crap blowing out of there. So I'm going to try to hold this up in here, and we're just going to paint up inside there the best we can. All right, so I'll take my light and I'll hold it up in there. See, we got decent coverage. I gotta get some more down inside there. And those louver lips, vent parts, I need to get those a little bit better. Louver lips, is that a word? Okay, let's let that flash off a little bit and we'll come back, put another coat in there. Let's move over to the other vent. Okay, the hardest part on this is going to be this area right here. So I'm going to try to, spray from the windshield side in and get both of these sides, because obviously I can stand over here at the firewall and spray this way, no problem. So let's see what we can get done. I've reduced the pattern down to about 3/4 inch, I think. Depending on the distance. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this best I can. Now, can you guys imagine me doing this when I'm trying to do the whole truck or the whole cab? Okay, we're going to let that flash off, and I'm going to take a look from this side the best I can, and then we're going to get another coat on it. You can tell it's getting on there pretty heavy, but I'm just trying to focus on this one spot. I need to turn the gun down just a little bit, but it's looking pretty good so far. I'm going to go do the rockers, and then we can go ahead and come back to these two, and hopefully that'll be good enough. But we've isolated this just in this area, and we'll be able to scuff this blue up once it's dried all the way. And then when we're painting the cab, the day we choose to spray it, we can just go right over the top of this and not have to worry about getting into all these little nooks and crannies. So let's go do the rocker real quick. Okay, if we look up inside here, it's actually looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and hit a little bit more. All right, let me grab the light. We'll take a look. I'd like to get some more down inside there. But it's really hard to get the gun to shoot down in there. Okay, let's take a look how we're doing so far. It's looking pretty good. Could use a little bit more right down inside there. Just a little bit, and I think that this side's about done. We go up here to the vent. You can tell right there, it's looking really good. I've got to get some more back over here, some right there. But all in all, that's looking good already. So all I have to do is let that flash off, and let's put another coat on it. Okay, I didn't shoot the second coat, it was just more of the same, but as you can see, I went ahead and did all the lip all the way around. We got down inside there really good, so it looks really good. And if you're spraying single stage, you can do this as well. It's not just for base coat. You may have to wait longer before you can scuff it and shoot over the top of it, whatever the instructions call for, but you can still do it with single stage because you'll get a run trying to spray all this right here more likely than if you were to do this in advance and then wait, whatever it says, 4 or 5 days or whatever, then scuff it, and then you just paint right over the top of it and not have to worry about that. So that came out really nice, and once we seal it off, I don't have to worry about any debris blowing out when I'm spraying the clear. So that one looks really good. This one up here came out really nice. If you look from this side, it's all got really good coverage, and it's going to get more blue over the top when we paint the cab, but now I can just make a pass over the top with the gun and not try to, squirt it in all different angles and, have that kind of stress. So this came out really nice, and let me grab the other camera, and we'll check out the rockers. Okay, let's take a look up underneath here. Nice and blue. I was able to make sure to get up inside these little corners and get that lower lip there. Anything that I might have trouble shooting when I'm spraying the whole cab. And see that hole right there? When I was spraying, after cleaning and hosing this thing out so many times, a chunk of debris came out of there. There was a flake of rust or something, so you can't clean them enough. I couldn't believe it when that came shooting out of there. So it's all looking really good. The other side looks just as nice. And so we're going to let this stuff set up a few days, and then we can just kind of scuff all that really lightly. And then when we go to spray, it'll just spray right over the top, and we don't have to stress about if we're getting good coverage up underneath there. Okay guys, that just wraps up this little quick video. I hope you guys got something. It's a nice little trick. I actually learned this from a body shop I used to work next to. I saw them doing it, and it saved me so much headache over the years. So give it a try. Just make sure, you know, whatever paint you're using, you follow the instructions, so you let it set long enough before you can scuff it, before you can recoat over the top of it. You can do it with single stage like I mentioned earlier. It doesn't have to be base coat, but this comes in really handy, and it's really stress reliever when I'm spraying. You know, I'm in here spraying and I'm just more concentrated on getting a nice even color on the whole car instead of trying to, you know, work around these little holes and everything and stressing about that. So give it a try. Now keep sending in your pictures. I love what I've been getting. I got a Chevy, we got some other stuff going on. I'm gonna keep posting them at the end of the videos as long as I keep getting them. So get back out in the shop, get in the garage, get to work on your project and send me those pictures. I'd love to have them. Thanks for joining me here at Foothill Paint Fabrication. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and mash that bell icon so you get notifications every time I release a new video. We'll see you on the next one.